we on?
So we are on levers and pulleys.
Okay.
Oh, yay.
Oh, shoot.
Go on in and sit on the couch.
Levers and
Hi,
pulleys.
Cameron.
Everybody can see it from my screen?
Yep.
Uh-oh. All right. All right, sorry. I'm sorry. We're on the wrong one. I'm sorry. Wheel and axles is the one we're doing. I said levers and pulleys. Sorry, we're doing wheels and axles today.
All right.
We gonna answer the questions too?
Jaden.
Jair.
All right. So we have Wheels and Axles by Ed Green. So let's start by looking at the diagrams and what we have here. So right first we have a picture. This is a picture of a, what is this, everybody?
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. And then here we have a diagram. A diagram of a wheel and axle. And we can see some arrows here. Now, what makes this picture different from the diagram?
Oh, wait, the wheels are huge.
They're going different ways.
Going the same way.
What?
So what in general, so very good. Thank you for giving me your guesses. So in general, what makes a picture different from a diagram is that a diagram is there to show you how something works.
Right.
A picture is just showing us something.
Yeah, showing us an example.
In this case, it is showing us an example, right? Okay, so we are going to read. This is a very short passage. I'm going to read first, and you all are going to read after me, all right?
All right.
Use your finger. Don't touch it hard.
There's only 3 pages.
3 paragraphs, not 3 pages, 3 paragraphs. All right, here we go. I have the hand. You can follow the hand. A simple machine has few or no moving parts. Your turn.
A simple machine has few or no moving parts.
One kind of simple machine is a wheel and axle.
One kind of simple machine is a wheel and axle.
A wheel and axle can help move people or objects from one place to another.
A wheel and axle move people or objects from one place to another.
All right, so now you all are going to read it to me this time on paragraph 2. 1, 2, 3, read.
Wheels and axles are all around you.
Stop. Stop in between sentences. Next sentence and read.
Cars and bicycles have wheels and axles.
Stop. Read.
A skateboard has them.
Thank you for whoever that was. And then next, everybody else.
I can't see it.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
That's good. That was me. You read that sentence.
Here we go. Right here. Where the hand is.
I still don't see it.
The image went away?
Yeah, on my screen.
All right. What about now? Is it back?
No.
All right. I'm going to stop sharing and then come back. Do you all see me now?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to try it again.
Okay, dokie. Now I can see it.
All right. We were on the last sentence of paragraph 2.
Okay. Even when Ferris wheels are really just a big wheel and axles.
All right. We're going to do it again, but together. 1, 2, 3, read.
Even a Ferris wheel is really just a big wheel and an axle.
All right. And together, the third paragraph.
This simple machine has a large wheel.
It also has a rod called an axle.
So let's stop right here. This word right here, R-O-D.
Road.
Rod.
So does this word have a silent E?
No.
So the O will say,
Ah.
so sound it out.
Rod.
Rod.
So rod. All right, let's reread this sentence.
It also has a rod called an axle.
All right, next sentence.
The
Axle
the
goes through
center
the
wheel.
center of the wheel.
And next sentence.
When the axle turns the wheel, it also turns.
Very good. A very simple passage, right? Short passage. So now we have to go through and determine, is this passage fiction or nonfiction?
Non-fiction.
And why is that?
Because a Ferris wheel is real.
A Ferris wheel is real.
Okay. A Ferris wheel is real, but what if I told you a story about a Ferris wheel that could have been not true? What makes it that this particular story or article is true or nonfiction?
It's true. It's
Because
real.
everything in it is
True.
a true or a fact. So you are correct. This is a nonfiction text. So now what we're going to do is our close read, where we're going to determine the main idea of each paragraph by answering our questions. What are the questions that we answer?
I gotta go somewhere.
All right. So what are our questions that we have to answer? Who, what, when, where, why, and sometimes we get a how. Yep. Who, what, when, where, why, how. So we're going to go through each paragraph and we're going to answer those questions so that we can determine what is that paragraph all about. Okay? So I'm going to re-share. All right, so we're going to break down starting with paragraph 1. Who is being talked about in paragraph 1? We're looking for a noun that would tell me who. Whenever we talk about who, we're always talking about
a person.
A person. Are there any words in here that refers to a person?
No.
So let's
People.
read.
People.
A simple machine has few or no moving parts. One kind of simple machine is a wheel and axle. A wheel and axle can help move people or objects from one place to another.
People.
The word people refers to a who?
Person.
Right. You see my stick figure? This tells me
Who.
who. All right.
Can we circle the word too?
You could circle the word if you want to. Yep. Who is in there? All right. So let's think about what. What is being talked about in relation to those people? What would be a thing or idea? What is being talked about in this paragraph?
A wheel and axle. Wheel and axle.
All right. A wheel and axle is a what? Anything else that is a thing or what that is being talked about?
I'm gonna reread it.
What other things are being talked about?
Wheel and parts.
Parts are some things that are being talked about. Okay. What else is a thing?
Are
One place,
Simple machine.
Right, there we go. Simple machine.
I'm keep on leaving.
All right. So we learn what? We learn about simple machines, wheel and axles, and parts. Who, what, when? Do we get any words that tell us when something is happening? A date, a time of day, a time of year, a season. Is there anything that tells us when?
No. Nope.
Nope, we don't have any when words, all right? Where? Do we have anything that tells us where something is happening?
Place.
Yeah.
Place.
Give me more about that. A place.
Place to
Another, right? To another what? This is saying from one place to another place, right? You wouldn't want to say that. You don't say that out loud because it's understood that you're talking about another place, right? So there we go. There's our where.
When.
Right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
the who, what, when, where, and why. Do we find out why this is the case? Why about anything? A reason?
No.
Nope, we don't get a reason. And then do we learn how? Do we get any steps about how it does it?
No.
No, we do not. So in paragraph one, we learn who, what, and where. Now, let's think about what is the main idea of paragraph one? What is paragraph one mainly telling us about?
I just have two answers. Paragraph 1 is telling us about. I think it's
What is
something
it
about.
mostly about?
I think it's about telling us about Ferris wheel.
It's all about a Ferris wheel. Well, look at it at our words here. Where do we see anything about a Ferris wheel?
A wheel and an axle.
A wheel and axle.
Yeah, and specifically that a wheel and axle is a what?
Thing.
Well, let's look at the words that are in the paragraph, though. Let's use the words in the paragraph. We learned that a wheel and axle is
A.
Someone joined in?
Yep,
No.
it was Martha.
Actually,
Okay. I just want to make sure if I can let anybody in that needs to be let in. All right, so we learned, let's look at the words that I have highlighted here in blue and in purple. We learned that a wheel and axle is a type of what?
Thing.
A type
But
of
it doesn't say a wheel and axle is a thing.
A wheel and axle
Is a kind of simple machine.
Right, we see that right here. One kind of simple machine is a wheel and axle. So we could say a wheel and axle is a simple machine. So then the main idea of paragraph one is to tell us about
Wheels
a
and
wheel and axle being a simple machine. And we get to learn what a simple machine is. What is a simple machine?
A simple machine.
A simple machine is something simple.
It's something that moves objects.
No, let's use the actual sentences that are in the text in paragraph one. Remember, you're going to use details to answer this question. What is a simple machine? What sentence tells me the answer?
Oh, a wheel and axle can move people or objects.
But I asked, what is a simple machine? You tell me about what a wheel and axle is. I asked, what is a simple machine?
One kind of simple machine is a axle. A wheel and an axle.
But that's one kind. I want to know what a simple machine is.
A simple machine has a few or no moving parts.
It's right here, the first sentence. A simple machine. Wrong color.
A simple machine has few
Oh no, wrong one.
or no moving parts.
A simple machine has few or
Few or
no
no.
moving parts. Now, if I ask you, what does a wheel and axle do? Use the details in paragraph 1 and tell me, what does a wheel and axle do?
A wheel and
I
axle can
will
help move
answer.
people or objects from one place to another.
There we go.
What?
Right here. We'll use the details from the text to answer our questions. A wheel and axle can move people or objects from one place to another. So we learn what a simple machine is in paragraph 1, and we also learn about what a wheel and axle does. All right. Moving along to paragraph 2. Let me scoot it up. Oh, too big, too big.
Oopsies.
All right, I think it's gonna have to be left right about here. There we go. Paragraph 2 is our focus. We're gonna go back through those same questions. Who, what, when, where, why, how. All right, starting at the top. Who is being
Miss
talked
Giga.
about? We want any who words that refer to a person.
No.
No.
Well, let's reread it. So everybody, let's read paragraph 2. Put your eyes right here on the first word. 1, 2, 3, read.
Wheels and axles are all
Wheels
around
and
cars and bicycles
are
have wheels and axles. A skateboard has them. Even a Ferris wheel is really just a big wheel and axle.
Not so.
All right. So what words in there refer to a who, a person?
You.
The word
You.
you refers to a person. Very good. So that answers the who. What is the thing? What are some things that are learned about in this paragraph?
Wait, I lost the question again because
What? So we did who. Now we want to think on what. What is being talked about? What are some things?
a
A
skateboard,
Ferris wheel.
Okay.
A
Skateboard. What else?
wheel and axle.
bicycles,
Wheel and axles, I heard.
Bicycles,
Bicycle.
cars,
Wheel and axles again.
Cars.
Cars. What else? Anything else?
A Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
wheel.
Let's see a Ferris wheel.
And then it
Oh wait,
says,
you forgot one more. Oh yeah, I was about to say that.
Wheel.
all right, so there are all of our whats. Who, what, when. Do we have any when words?
No.
All right. Do we have any where words?
No.
But we do. Where something happens.
All around.
Yes, there we go. All around.
I'm just doing my baby dolls here.
What?
I'll be right back.
This tells me where it's happening. Who, what, when, where, why. Do we find out why anything is happening?
I don't know. No.
I don't know either. Yes or no. Is there anything here that tells me why something happens or why something is?
No.
No.
No. So that we're not gonna have I don't know. It's a yes or no question. Either this paragraph tells us why something happens or it does not.
No.
And the answer is no. Does this paragraph tell us how something happens? A step by step of how to do something?
No.
No, it does not. It does not tell me how to bake cookies, how to make a wheel and axle, how to roller skate, how to get on Google Classroom, how to come to, right? I don't learn how to do something. Not at all. So now we do, so what we break down and see is that we find out who, we can find out what, and we can find where in this paragraph. So now let's think about the main idea. What is the main idea of this paragraph? What do we see the most in this paragraph? It's all talking about
axle, wheel, axle, and
Wheels and axles.
it talks about wheels and axles the most. So the main idea, if I were going to type this out in a question, I mean, as an answer to a question, the main idea of paragraph 2 is about wheels and axles. Right. And specifically, what things does it tell me about wheels and axles? Now, up here in paragraph 1, it told me what a wheel and axle is. What new information do I get about wheel and axles from paragraph 2? All of these other things, cars, bicycles, skateboards, Ferris wheel, what do they all have in common?
They have a wheel and axle.
So all of those things are there because of what? They are a
simple machine.
a simple machine.
But what's the they are a simple machine that have a wheel and axle in them. They are, well, they're not necessarily simple machines, but they all have the simple machine of wheel and axle inside of it.
Hair?
So all of these things are a kind of simple machine. So I can update my sentence. The main idea of paragraph 2 is about
A simple machine.
no, it's not about, we don't see the word simple machine in paragraph 2.
Wheels and axles.
Right, but then they give us all of these. If a bicycle is a wheel and axle, a Ferris wheel is a wheel and axle, a skateboard is a wheel and axle, a car is a wheel and axle. They just gave me some, help me, what word am I trying to type? What word am I typing? Examples of. So the main idea of paragraph 2 is about examples of wheels and axles. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
You put on. You got an iPad on my computer, Miss Giga.
What happened?
You on an iPad or computer?
That doesn't matter, but I'm on a computer. All right, the same computer that I use in school. I'm on that computer. All right, so the main idea of paragraph 2 is about examples of wheel and axles. So what are examples of wheel and axles? Cameron, give me an example of a wheel and axle based on paragraph 2.
A simple machine?
Well, the word simple machine is not anywhere in paragraph 2, sweetheart. We want to use words from paragraph 2 to give me an example of a wheel and axle.
Skateboard.
Skateboard and Ferris wheel.
All right. Martha, give me an example of a wheel and axle from paragraph 2.
A bicycle?
All right, Jaden, give me an example of a wheel and axle from paragraph 2.
Ferris wheel.
All right, thank you. Is Zion still on?
No.
Diana not on.
Okay. Am I missing? Is anybody else on?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's just us 3 for now. That's fine. I just want to make sure that I gave everybody a chance to talk. All right. So we learned some examples of wheel and axles in paragraph 2. So then the main idea of paragraph 2 is about examples of wheels and axles. We're moving on to paragraph 3. that over there. All right. So let's reread paragraph 3 really quickly. 1, 2, 3, read.
This simple machine has a large wheel.
This simple machine has a large wheel.
1, 2, 3. Read this sentence where my hand is.
It also has a rod called an axle.
Right here where my hand is. Read.
The axle goes through the center of the wheel.
Martha, read the last sentence for us.
When the axle is turned, the wheel also turns.
Wait, I think I
All right.
went to the restroom.
Okay, that's fine. Just let us know when you get back.
I'm doing something right now.
Okay, so let's answer our questions. Who, what, when, where, why, right? Do we have any words that refer to who, a person?
I'm doing something. Because I'll be back.
No.
Thank you. We do not. This time we don't have any who words. Do we have any where words? That tells me where something happens.
At the Ferris wheel?
We're on paragraph 3. Where do you see Ferris wheel on paragraph 3?
At where the axle. The axle is
Hey, Cameron, keep going. I'm here. I'm listening to you.
the wheel the wheel has
So we're looking for where. You were doing good, Cameron. Keep going. Where is something happening?
the wheel the axle is the I'll be watching. Wheel has
All right. So our answer is where is in right here. It says the axle goes through the center. The center tells me where something is. Going through the center. Who? What? And I skipped a what. What is being talked about in paragraph 3? What are some things that we learned in paragraph 3?
simple machine.
Yep, we have simple machine again. What else is a thing? A what? Axle. Okay, is a thing.
A
Wheel.
A large wheel at that, right? Large wheel. Okay.
And just a normal wheel.
It's 2 more axles. And 1 more wheel. 2 more wheels.
Wheel right there.
Wheel and wheel.
Yeah, everybody go to the toe.
All right. Who, what, when? Okay, so what about when? Do we find out when something happens?
When
The word when is right there. What color did I use last time? Orange.
when the axle is
Yep,
turning,
that tells me when something happens. That's a time, right? Like a watch. This is my watch to tell me when, okay?
turning.
Okay.
Sorry, I can see
When the axle is turned, the wheel also turns. So that's when and why. Do we learn why?
I don't know.
Why?
We talked about that. I don't know is not an acceptable answer.
No.
This is a yes or no question. Do we find out the reason why something is?
No. No.
Do we find out how something works?
No. No.
Are you sure?
Yes. How a wheel when the axle is turned, the wheel turns also turns.
Right. That tells me how. So this sentence here is also telling me how a what? How what works?
How a axle and wheel how wheels and axles work.
Right. That whole sentence right there tells me how a wheel and axle works. Very good. So now let's talk about the main idea of this paragraph. What is the main idea of paragraph 3? The main idea of paragraph 3 is about what? What do we learn about the most? What did you have we put in blue the most?
Axle.
What else?
Axle and wheel.
So what is that called when it's together?
Wheels and axle.
The main idea of paragraph 3 is wheel and axle. Now that was the same thing we had on paragraph 2, but we were able to get more specific. What thing about a wheel and axle do we learn specifically? The last time we learned about examples. This time we learned what about the wheel and axle?
That's how we learned about the
Paragraph 3, what is it mainly teaching us about the wheel and axle?
When the axle is moving, the wheel. Hi, London.
Oh my God! I took off her head.
All right, so thank you, Cameron. This word right here cannot be moving, and this word cannot be moved. Even though you, all right, there we go. So how do we say that? That's telling me what did that word right here I said?
So you can't see
This goes for. This sentence tells us what about the wheel and axle, Cameron? My hand is on it. The white hand is on it.
Ow.
So this main idea tells me how a wheel and axle what?
Move. Turn.
The main idea of paragraph 3 is how a wheel and axle
turn.
turns. Very good.
Do it. Shut up.
I think I don't like that word, but people have to say it. Shut up and it's quiet.
Right, but we have to have better ways of telling people that we need them to be quiet.
Like this. Can you please be quiet?
Can you please be quiet because I'm listening to a live lesson with my teacher right now? So it means the same thing, but it's a more polite way to say what you are asking of someone. All right. So now we know the main idea of paragraph 3. The main idea of paragraph 3 is how a wheel and axle turns. Very good work, Cameron. The main idea of paragraph 2 is examples of wheels and axles. And we learned that paragraph 1 was all about what a simple machine is and what a wheel and axle is. Right?
Yes.
So now we can put together what is the main idea of the whole passage. It's all about
wheels and axles.
It's all about wheels and axles, and I didn't type it on here. Let's type the main idea of paragraph 1 is wheel and axle and simple machines. Period. There we go. So now what is the main idea of the whole text?
Wheels and axles.
Very good, Jaden. The main idea of everything is wheels and axles. Do we have any questions? Anybody have a question?
No.
So, bringing it back. You guys see me again?
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome. It's me. All right. So, today or tomorrow, you have to until tomorrow to answer the questions about wheels and axles on Google Chrome. I mean, in Google Classroom. Right? So now that we know what the main idea is, that's what you'll be able to use that information to answer the questions. Welcome, London. All right. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to go over it one more time to make sure that everybody knows where to answer these questions. I'm going to share my screen. I'm getting some stuff off of there.
Today or tomorrow?
You can do it today. And guess what? If you do it today, that's one less thing you have to do tomorrow.
I already did it.
So, well, that's fine. So I'm going to show it to everyone else. All right.
Okay, I'm going to do it right now.
So yeah, let's go to, I'm going to share my entire screen. So my expectation is you go into my backpack, you click on Google Classroom right here. And then once you're in there in your Google Classroom, you click on classwork, you click on COVID March 30th through April 3rd to view that assignment. And over here in the instructions, look, right here it says what? Wheels and axles. And there's 5 questions in here that you need to answer. And don't forget to click submit once you answer those questions. Remember, look, use details. What does use details mean you're supposed to do?
Copy from the text.
Use details means to copy a sentence from the text. And remember, I showed you before that when you're over here, you can hit this arrow, right? You can hit this arrow, and then you can, guess what? Look, highlight and copy what word you want. You should be able to still do it on your iPad. It may function a little bit differently.
Okay.
All right. If not, then you'll just type it out like we normally would. You just type it out.
Where is?
Okay. So before we get off of here, because I want to get a break. Look, I need to eat lunch before I do our next class. And
What's
I have
the
another
next class?
meeting. At 1 o'clock, we're gonna do some math.
1 o'clock.
Yes, I'm gonna be back on at 1 o'clock. That's in 45 minutes. So in 45 minutes, I want to let you know that we're gonna do math and I'm gonna do some science and social studies to make sure that you all are good. I know that Studies Weekly, guys, are you listening?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I know that Studies Weekly have been having a hard time. And so what I did is, if you look here, I added the Studies Weekly PDFs. Here's the thing you're supposed to be reading about Martin Luther King Jr. And here's the Studies Weekly for Science. I added it in here as a PDF. So you can click on it. And when you click on it, you'll see it open up just like this, that you can read it. Nice, right?
I read that Ricky Robinson. I read that test and I took the test.
Jackie Robinson, not Ricky. Jackie Robinson. That was last week. This week we're on Martin Luther King Jr. Okay. And then in science, we are doing this magazine called Move It.
Move It. I did that.
And when after you read the science magazine, you go back over here into Google Classroom, look, and oh no, that's right. Because all of the ones that you're doing on reading count for science. But next week, after you read it, you'll be answering questions. But here are some other videos that you all can watch.
But if I hit one of those videos, they're gonna say no internet. No man.
Just
No,
like mom say.
no YouTube.
Oh, Cole, so what it is that on your tablets, YouTube is blocked. So you have to use a computer or your mom's phone in order to watch the YouTube videos. So if you have a computer, these will work, but YouTube is blocked on the iPads.
I got YouTube on my iPad. I got kids YouTube.
Okay, I could actually ask Mr. Clay about whether or not we can get that lifted, but as of right now, we figured out that's the thing. You can't do it because they have blocked YouTube. So in order to watch these videos, you'll have to go onto a phone or a computer.
My mom has two.
I have a
let
phone.
me use her old phone. She got
All right.
an old one.
So you can do that so that you can have more understanding. So again, I'll be back on in just a few minutes at 1 o'clock, and we're gonna do some math.
Okay, my mom is not here yet, so I just have to tell my big brother.
That's fine. All right. It was good seeing you. I miss you, London. Welcome to the party, to the live party.
Yay!
Oh, and guess what, guys? You guys can also work together for this one. Now, not the one for Friday because that's your assessment. But guess what? If you guys want to come into the live classroom and do work together, if you want to do your Khan Academy or go into ReadWorks and work together, you can do that. If you want to stay on and have help with each other, okay? That way you can work and have some interaction. I don't mind. But you can't be on here playing. So if you guys all want to open up the questions, like I have the questions up here. If you guys want to go through the questions together, answer them and click submit, I don't mind. All right?
Okay, I'm doing mine tomorrow.
Okay, so you guys can either get off or stay on it. I'll be back on at 1 o'clock. All right?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you guys for coming.
Okay, I'll get back on here at 1 o'clock.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
So I gotta hang up first. You know.
Bye. Bye, London.
Bye.